Hollywood has had a challenging 3 years, but with AI on the horizon, what's next? Today's guest, Scott Ross, can help us analyze the current state of Hollywood. Scott, welcome to Spotlight.
Bobby, thanks for having me.
Well, look, I'm excited to have you because last time I interviewed you, you predicted mass unemployment in Hollywood. And honestly, it blew my mind. Because I know how experienced you are and how knowledgeable, but I was like, come on, Scott. And you were right about absolutely everything you said. So we got to start right there. Like, how did you know that was coming?
Well, there are a couple of things on the horizon. Obviously there was the strikes, and there was the change of what was happening in Hollywood. We started hearing rumblings about the acquisitions of various studios. And as soon as you start to hear that, you think consolidation. Um, Streamers also being consolidated. And then the age of artificial intelligence and generative AI right on the horizon. um, it seemed obvious to me. I wish I was
Mhm.
as good in choosing stocks, but
Right. Well, I mean, you've had such a successful career. But let's stick to Hollywood analysis because obviously, I mean, you just have decades of experience. You take it all in. Is this the worst? I mean, the last 3 years have been really, really, really bad. Are we at the bottom? Have we seen the bottom? Where are we?
well, let's define, if we could define what the bottom is about, right? So
Mhm.
so if we're discussing the bottom being the end of cinema houses as we know it, no, we're not at the bottom. Far
Mhm.
from it.
Mhm.
If we're discussing the bottom of the quality of entertainment, yeah, I don't think we're at the bottom yet. If we're discussing box office, I don't think we're at the bottom yet. And more importantly, if we're discussing the people that work behind the camera, we're nowhere near the bottom. The
Wow.
the worst is yet to come.
You know what's scary, Scott, is that I know how smart you are, and I know how accurate you are. And like literally, like I have you on camera making bold predictions and you were 100% right. So, okay, I mean, obviously it's not like a perfect analogy here, but okay, so if we're not at the bottom yet, and these are three of the worst years that I mean the entire film and television industry have seen, are we mostly there? Are we like 80% to the bottom? Like how much worse can this possibly get?
Well, again, if you could go back to Bobby, if you can go back to what you're defining the bottom of,
Right.
right? So if you ask me a question, are we at the bottom of consolidation? There's not many more studios that can be acquired,
Hmm.
right? So we're probably getting very close. If we're at the bottom of box office, um, I think we'll see a slight rise in box office, and then it will bottom out, because I do think that cinema houses are going the way of opera houses.
Hmm.
So, if we go back several hundred years, opera was the form of entertainment for the masses. You didn't have to be an elitist or a member of the elite to go see opera. That's what you did. If you had spare time on a Friday or a Saturday night, you went to the local opera house and you saw opera. If we look at opera houses today, the common person, the average person, is not going to an opera. In fact, I'd go so far to say most people in first world countries around the world have probably not even ever been to an opera.
Hmm.
And then you think, well, you look at the number of opera houses that are available today in first run cities, there's maybe one, maybe two, but not dozens upon dozens, and definitely not in second tier or third tier cities or villages. So I do believe that the the art house will probably exist for a bit. I think major motion pictures, big popcorn crunching kinds of films like Avatar and films of that genre, people will want to see in an environment where it's 70 millimeter and multiple sense around sound, etc.
Hmm.
But even that now, If you go to the cinema, they have to serve you food and drink and,
Right.
lounge chairs. They're doing everything they
Scott,
can.
let me just, I got to get to commercial. I've got you for three more segments. You're a brilliant man. If you don't know who Scott Ross is, go and Google him because this guy has done everything. I've got Scott Ross here for two more segments on the Spotlight.